Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing good. I am doing just great. So I am here with the candy green Epiphone 100 Les Paul, which is now only just the body is Epiphone. The neck itself has been replaced, and I kind of went with a pointed headstock. A lot of people are liking it. I'm really liking the way the headstock looks with a Les Paul body, just with the pointed one, the V-shaped, whatever you want to call it. But this guitar was bought brand new, and the only problem it had with it was the headstock was cracked right where the nut and the neck meet up on both sides, pretty bad. And I got the guitar pretty cheap because of that. So I figured, well, perfect candidate to do some modifications to, custom paint job, whatever. And that's what I ended up doing. So the last video that I put up, I had a comment from a fellow YouTuber who ended up pointing out something that I really messed up on, and kind of a little bit disappointed in myself because of this. Usually I catch stuff like this, any little scratch or ding or anything that is going on with a guitar, or anything else for that matter, I usually catch it right away. But 52 years old, having to wear glasses now for seeing up close, and I want to say poor lighting. Maybe these all sound like excuses, but I tell you, getting up there in age and things start not working correctly. What? So what the fuck? The problem wasn't with the cutting of the nut itself. It was the problem with the lighting. And I used to use just a regular 8s, 16s, 32, 64 ruler. And a lot of machine shops use these rulers. They're fit in your pocket really good. They're pretty accurate. Actually, they're very accurate. And they're great for measuring on the fly when you want to check something out, especially for quality control stuff. So I've been using the string spacing ruler for doing my working on these nuts and cutting out the string slots and stuff. And what I ended up doing is I took a picture. So here's the picture of what I ended up doing wrong. You can see that I'm close, but noticeably off, especially on that G string. So I plucked the nut, and I've got another blank over here, and I'm starting to work on that, get that thing all cut into size first for the width of the neck, and then I'll start narrowing it down to the height that I need, and then I'll start cutting in the string spacing. So what's going on with this? Well, sounds like an excuse, but I gotta say poor lighting. Now, I had fluorescent lights in this room before. I changed out to LEDs. These are supposed to be natural lighting. And as you can see, where I'm at right now is over here. And if I put my hand over here, or even a finger over here, you see a shadow. And this is how I was working. I know it's actually, I got all my tools over here where I need them so I can get them. This is basically how I was cutting the nut when I started doing this. Now, I do have a light above the bench. As you can see, it helps, but doesn't help that much. So no more excuses. I ended up picking up something. Rechargeable headlamps with hand-free sensors. It's got a 230-degree wide beam, long-distance spotlight. I can't screw up with this now. So when I put the string spacing or ruler up against where the nut is, or would be on this thing, and say I'll just use the old nut that I had on here, and I put the spacing over, you can clearly see the white through this. But if you don't use a very sharp pencil, you don't get into those grooves to make your mark on the nut itself. And the one problem that I have is putting the cutters, nut files, whatever you want to call them, on top of the nut, right on top of that line that I drew, and making a mark exactly where that line is put on the nut. That's where I started having my issues with. And I got a combination of different types of nut files. I always go one step up from the strings that I'm using. So if I'm putting 9s on this guitar here, which it has, I'll go with the 10 gauge as far as the files go for putting my notches in the nut for my string spacing. So hopefully this will end up helping out a hell of a lot better. It's kind of a little bit of an unboxing to do here. Oh boy, lots of little parts, huh? So this comes with 3, I believe. You got 3 headbands here. They are all rechargeable. And they are pretty small. They're not very large. So you have a strip right here that's an LED strip. And let's see if this has any charge in it. Whoa, yes she does. So let's see what this does here. Can't tell what that is. It just has the LED light. I see that the battery is kind of, the battery's kind of going on me, huh? And you can switch it off to a regular flashlight. These are LED. This looks like it is going to work out perfect for my needs. Oh yeah, this is going to work out really good for what I need to do. I had something like this before. Okay, so you have a dimmer on there. I'm going to find out why this looks like a Bluetooth on here. Here's where the charger plugs in. It is USB charging, USB-C to regular USB. So I'll be plugging this into the computer. Now, why does it look like it has a Wi-Fi on it? So let's see here. Press button on off or switch working modes. Long press the on off button for 3 seconds to switch to strobe mode. Press the sensor button to activate the motion sensor. Oh, okay, so that's what it is. Then you can swing your hands to turn on the headlamps or turn off the headlamps within a 2-foot sensing range. So that's what that is. Not a big deal. So I got 3 of these guys. All I need is really 1, but the kit comes with 3. And I am going to end up using this because I'm not going blind. I'm just getting old.